Hello, this is Eric Hooper. Today is 5/20/21. This is Microbiology 225, and we are isolating individual colonies today in this lab experiment. Again, this is week 2, exercise 2. Everything's been sterilized. I got my cultures here, my alcohol, my bleach, my candle. And so we're just going to transfer some bacteria from the tubes to the petri dishes here. Let me adjust my camera a little bit. So this is the first one. I have the E. coli here. And I'm going to transfer to this dish. So I'm going to remove the cap. Sterilize the lip here. Careful not to touch the lip. I just transfer. In a zigzag motion here to 4 separate quadrants. I'm going to cover this dish up. Put this back in the alcohol. Sterilize my tube again. Replace the lid. For 20 seconds. So then I'm going to take samples from the first one and move it to a second area of the dish. Put the lid on, soak it again. Then we go from the second quadrant into the third quadrant in a zigzag motion. I'm going to take it from the third quadrant to the fourth quadrant in a zigzag motion. And what I'm doing is just creating different colonies of the same bacteria. I'll set this aside, and I'm going to use a different one here. So this is the cerevisiae. With the corresponding dish. Careful not to touch the rim. And I'm going to zigzag here. Put that in the alcohol. Sterilize the rim again. Replace the cap. 20 seconds. So I'm going to borrow again from one and zigzag into another quadrant. So I'm going to borrow from two and zigzag again in the third quadrant. So I'm going to borrow from the third quadrant and zigzag into a fourth quadrant. Set this aside. And this is the S epidermidis. And now I'm going to repeat the process for this one. Sterilize the rim. Get my sample. Zigzag in the first quadrant. Sterilize. Place the lid. From my first quadrant to my second quadrant. And then from my second quadrant to my third quadrant. And from my third quadrant to my fourth quadrant. And that will do it for isolating individual colonies. Again, we're still in week 2.